Guys, what's going on? My name is Ted, and today I'm bringing you all a review for the Samsung Galaxy Express. This is a really neat device, and I love seeing a lot of these mid-range phones come out right before Christmas. This is the things that are going to be purchased a lot for their kids for Christmas, or maybe for their parents as well, if their parents like smartphones. Let's get into some of the specs, the software, the hardware specs, as well as the display and things like that. Starting off with the operating system, this is a very important aspect of the device. This phone comes with Android 4.0.4, or Android Ice Cream Sandwich. This is the second best version of Android, not quite the best, not quite the worst. Definitely a good version of Android though, and it's good to see a lot of the phones coming out with the upper end Android systems right now. As far as your screen size, you're coming with a 4.5-inch 480 by 800 resolution. This is a pretty good resolution, not quite the best we've seen. Once again, making this a very mid-range phone, you're going to notice a lot of the things that I talk about are going to be not quite the best, but not quite the worst. The display being one of them. Moving on to your processor, this is actually pretty good. You got a 1.5 gigahertz dual-core processor. This is not bad at all. It's not quite the best, once again. It's not quite a quad-core like we've seen in some of the flagship devices these days, but this is still a very good processor. This is the same one I think that's in the Galaxy S3, but I'm not quite sure. I don't think it's a Snapdragon, but I'm not honestly sure. Moving on to your RAM and your ROM, you're coming with 1 GB of onboard RAM, which is good for multitasking, but a lot of the better phones have 2 GB of RAM. Once again, you're just going to notice right down the line of the middle range phones here. It also comes with 8 GB of ROM, which isn't too bad. I'd like to see more, but it comes with a micro SD card slot, so you can expand that to about 40 if you want to. It comes with the micro SD card slot that holds up to 32 extra gigabytes of read-only memory. So that's good if you like a lot of memory, and this is the device for you. Moving on to your camera, you're coming with a 5 megapixel rear-facing camera that records at 1080p. This is pretty good. Once again, mid-range. Not quite the best. You've seen a lot of 8 megapixels, even a 13 megapixel on the LG Optimus G and some of the Photon series. But moving on to the front-facing camera, you don't get any front-facing camera, which really sucks. I'd like to see almost all phones these days come with a front-facing camera, and this one does not, which is very, very strange. As far as your battery life, you're coming with a 2,000 mAh battery. This is a pretty good sized battery for such a kind of a mid-range phone. With that small of a screen size, running that few pixels, and that only a dual-core processor, I don't think you're going to have any battery life problems. 2,000 mAh is actually really, really good, and I've seen lower milliamp hours and better, bigger phones. So it's definitely a good battery life. I don't think you're going to have any trouble getting through the day with that kind of a battery life. As far as some extra details I can say about this device, it's great for the holiday seasons. It's small, it's light, it's compact, and it has the newest version of TouchWiz, which is a user interface for Samsung, which is not quite my favorite. I like HTC Sense 4 Plus, but if you like TouchWiz, this is the device for you. It's also cheaper than the Galaxy S3, but not quite a piece of crap like some of the really lower-end devices are. If you want a good-made Samsung device, this is the device for you, without spending that $300, $400 price tag if you're trying to get a 2-year contract with it. It's still a great phone, but not quite the best. As I went down the specs, I'm sure you heard me say mid-range device quite a few times. This runs right in the middle of between the top specs and the bottom specs. This is right in the middle. So if you want an average phone that does everything you're probably going to need it to do, this is the phone for you. Aesthetically, it's very pleasing. It's a good-looking phone. It feels good. It looks good, and this is the phone for you if you don't want to spend a massive price tag. If you guys enjoyed this review, as always, be sure to subscribe. I post a lot of Android-related content. Also, be sure to like the video if you learned something new, and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.